Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside Genie, where we will be looking today at the race meeting from Fairview on the Turff track, today the 5th of March. Just before I start to look at all the fields and betting, I just want to remind uh, listeners that on Saturday, only people who are subscribing to my daily service will be able to get the selections for Turffontein. As you know, I have got this policy that on big race days, uh, my members get advantage of having the selections. And I just want to remind you that I do have a very good record on these big days. I've said it a couple of times. I don't have to prove myself. We all know that it's the truth. So if you want to get the selections for Saturday, I've got a special for you for subscribe now till the end of the month for 350 Rand. So WhatsApp me on 083 585 5133. So let's kick off with the first race, which is a maiden plate for Phillies and Mares over 1,000 meters. From the offset, I just want to say that this card today at Fairview is a very difficult card. We have the normal suspects running, against each other, and then we have the Cape Town visitors, which sometimes they are a little bit more stronger. Normally do wins, but you can expect that there might be money for a Cape Town horse, but a Fairview or a P horse might be able to outrun that horse. So be careful. Large fields difficult to access. In the one race, I mean, Alan Greef has got 8 runners. From the 12 runners, he's got 8 runners, and it's not even certain that one of those 8 runners is going to win. That's how difficult it is today. So let's kick off in the first race where we have a visitor, Andre Nel, with a horse called number 1, Real Advisor, 9 to 10. Just So Easy, 5 to 1. Roy Boss, 13 to 2. Lady Isabella, 12 to 1. 16 to 1. Ola Chiquita, 14 to 1. Captive Gold, and 16 to 1. Pearl Dancer, 22 to 1, and longer the rest. So here in this race, my first selection is number 1, which is the visitor from Cape Town. Um, just when I close this down, I don't know why this pop-ups now. Um, so let's have a look here. This horse has had 4 runs and didn't do too bad. First time out, they ran second behind. I did what I did. There was 5 runners from that, already 1 winner. And after that, behind Arc Lamp, I don't know, ran well behind Empress Decree, although third 10 links behind. And then last time out, also went to the front to fade out to 11 links by Captain Disney, but they said, yeah, not striding out. So I think this horse can be forgiven for that. Nicely bred, a trippy out of prime estate by Fort Worth, certainly well bred, and I think will be hard to catch in this race. For my outsider selections, I went with number 8, Pearl Dancer, recently relocated from Gauteng, and has had some reasonable form behind some winners in Gauteng, but is now coming back to the 1,200. Sorry, I just want to confirm. Can't read my own handwriting here. 1,000 meters, which seems to be too short, but I have seen sometimes when these horses come from Gauteng, they would run over longer distances, and then you put them over the shortened distances, and some of them has even won. And this horse initially did a debut over 1,200 meters. And what caught my eye, and that's why I am giving this horse, is in his first 2 runs, he ran on 23.1, second fastest 400, then he ran at 24.5, fastest 400 to finish. And then they put him over longer distances. And then last time out, he was back over the 1,400, showed a little bit of pace. So maybe watch out this horse, especially getting the -2 kilograms, already a 4-year-old, only had 6 runs. And I think Pearl Dancer can be involved here in the finish. And then number 9, Captive Gold. It's also an ex-KwaZulu-Natal horse. Didn't show much, but has run some decent races, but also seems to me a Captive Gold would be more suited to longer distances. But the reason why I gave this is not, I don't think this horse can win this race, but the horse sometimes shows pace. And maybe just pop it into the back end of your quartets and trifectas. Surely, if this horse do run a place, third or fourth, you're going to be standing in a payout queue laughing and thanking outside of Genie. And another thing is, this caught my eye. This horse is by Circle of Gold. This mare has bred some useful individuals. If I'm not mistaken, one of the horses of Sean Terry, I think on Tuesday at KwaZulu-Natal, and yesterday again, there was a free, I think Visible was a 5-year-old, and then yesterday there was a 3-year-old running. But I know Circle of Gold has thrown some nice, and a lot of them ran over shorter distances. So I do include, it can't hurt if it does place. Then other selections is number 2, Lady Isabella. Also a horse coming from Cape Town. Again, here we have this horse running over longer distances. And then last time out, I put it back over 1,000 meters, battled to quicken, but also a horse to include in the back end of your quartet. Very interesting to note is that this horse ran 3.75 behind Gertrude Bell. And Gertrude Bell here today is my favorite to win the big race, the future race. So certainly by running 3.7 behind Gertrude Bell, this horse showed a little bit of capability. Again, include into your back end of your quartets, number 2, Lady Isabella. Then we move on to race number 3, which is, race number 2, all to come maiden plate over 1,200 meters. And let's have a look here at the betting. Number 11, Paris Opera, a hot favorite, 6 to 10, Private Initiative, 11 to 10, 9 to 1, Pure Quality, 8, 9 to 1, Jaspero, National Liberty, 12 to 1, Damari, 12 to 1, 16 to 1, Sputnik 1, Black Triton, 60 to 1, and Better the Rest, scratch number 7, Emerald Flame. So here again, we're going for number 11, which is the favorite. This horse has run very good races. Last time out, just got outrun by Scottish Primrose, and before that, beaten by Torero, who was an improving sort. Today, it's drawn 4, Greg Shane on board, and I think 11, Paris Opera, going to run a huge race. In my outsider selections, I'm going for number 1, which is Private Initiative. Private Initiative did run on the poly last time out, but before that ran third on the turf behind Global Edge, which was a nice race. But the horse is coming back from a long rest, 242 days, and might need a run, but is getting the -2.5. But certainly a horse that you do want to include into your calculations. In my other outsider selection is number 3, which is Putnik 1. This horse debuted well and then ran behind the stablemate Evie's First, and that form is quite strong because Evie's First is also running today, and last time out she ran in a full small future and was placed third. So definitely I think that bides well for Sputnik 1. And as you can see, there was 12 runners, 1 winner. But last time out, he was behind Little Drummer Boy. I think the 1400 might have found him out. And today over the 2,200, I think this horse will be better. But the most thing there is already 9 runners, 2 winners from that. So certainly Sputnik 1 has been running against some good opposition. Certainly a horse not to discard and leave out of your calculations. And then another last horse that I want to mention is number 2, National Liberty. National Liberty is also a Gauteng horse, ex-Gauteng horse. Has had 2 runs, also ran behind Torero and Scottish Promise, but is today has been beaten by some of the horses in this field, but today is getting the -2.5. So certainly do include in audio play, can surprise. Then we move on to race number 3, which is a Fillies a Mare 66 handicap over 1,200 meters, Class E, average minute rate at 62. Here we have the favorite, number 1, Shine a Light, 5-4, 8-1, Angel Bouquet, At Your Request, 8-1, Elusive Jet, 9-1, Ballerina, 9-1, 12-1, Sweet Karma, Flame Up, 16-1, Gift of Peace, 16-1, Scottish Promise, 18-1, and Longer the Rest. Again, here we have a big favorite in number 1, Shine a Light, race 3, but my selection is going to be number 6. Number 6 is Angel Bouquet. Now, Angel Bouquet last time out, um, before that ran against Varsity Bourbon in a higher division as well as Delicacy, and then last time out in a little bit lower the thing, that he moved up well and actually won quite convincingly, although it only says half a length, but he had the race under control a long way out. He was also cramped and yeah, he had to change as well, to come around, and he did run and well. And I'm looking for Angel Bouquet today to run again and a huge race. Then my outsider selections in this race is number 5, which is Sweet Karma. Run well behind Force Crowd, and before that was 4 lengths behind Angel Bouquet, but probably will be running closer to Angel Bouquet because there's a turnaround in weight. And then last time out ran well, 22.8 over the 1200 meters, which is a very, very good time. Slow ran on late, and note, and that was only the third fastest. And it's the first time that this horse really runs on before, because if you have a look in the form, you'll see before he was also 11 fastest, 11 tenths, and now last time he ran on well, and that shows that the horse is coming to form. So number 4, Sweet Karma, you need to put in all your play. And then number 8 is my other outsider selection, which is another inmate from the John Nell stable. This horse also ran behind 4 as a crowd and ran 23.2, which is good. Before that, 23.5. So the horse was there and thereabouts, only faded late. But with Richard Fourie today, I'm expecting a huge run from number 8 At Your Request. Just have a look at Shine a Light. Shine a Light, obviously the favorite, and if you have a look here, second behind Forest Field, second behind Force the Crowd. So certainly it looks like she's got the beating of this field, but I have seen stranger things happen, but certainly I think number 1, Shine a Light, will be the huge runner in this race. Then we move on to race number 4, which is a merit rated 82 handicap over 1200 meters. Class C average merit rated 76. Let's have a look here at the betting. And here the betting is as follows. Number 8, Regimental, 15-10. Double Charge, 18-10. Interpret Traveler, 9-1. Toro Lake, 12-1. Evie's First, 12-1. 14-1. She's at Low, 18-1. Promotious, and 18-1. Wicked Green, 22-1, and Longer the Rest. So let's have a look at this race, where my first selection is number 10, which is Evie's First. Now, Evie's First ran third behind Regimental, but there is now a weight turnaround, which would bring them much closer. And she was there up with the pace, although that day she had the apprentice. But today she's got Ryan Munger, and Ryan Munger, he's hunger for a win. So I think Evie's Praise today would run a huge race. You see, yes, Regimental was backed in that day from 10-1 to 27-20. That's about 53-10, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But also had run some good races in Cape Town, and definitely deserved this win. But it's not a clear cut that it will win again today. I think Evie's First today will run a huge race. Then outside of selections, we're going to look at number 2, which is Toro Lake. Toro Lake also a horse that's been running on well, has run in higher divisions here, ran behind Apollo Ice, and the much higher division. Now he's running in a C76. He was running in a B86. And so Toro Lake, Duncan McKenzie stable, always a horse that you need to be careful, and don't discard him. Also, number 1, Interpreter is also a horse, is always there and thereabout. Also, last time out ran against Stronger. Now a little bit down in class, can also feature in the finish. And then number 4, Double Change. Double Charge, sorry, is also in with a chance from Cape Town, Andre Nel stable. Took a while to break the maiden, but since then has run some promising races, and certainly not to be left out, although it would seem that a horse would be prefer longer, but as I said, uh, might have a little bit more ability and can finish in the money here. Then we move on to race number 5, which is a merit rated 74 handicap over 1600 meters, class D, average merit rated 67. And here we have race number 5, Gold Rock 820, 8 to 10, Attorney General 9 to 2, All in Line 11 to 2, Up Early 9 to 1, Take the World 9 to 1, Latest Grace 18 to 1, Regia de Aura 18 to 1, Arabiata 20 to 1, 22 to 1, number 2 Palace Open 25 to 1, and longer the rest. Yes, yeah, this race also a very open race, where my first choice is number 6, which is Attorney General. Attorney General does manage to win his, has only managed to win his maiden, but has run against some decent oppositions, half and half, which is the full brother to Legislate, to not to Legislate, Bulgarian, and then have one start to finish really easy on Kenilworth, and in this field certainly in with a big chance. In my outsider selections here is number 1 and 2. One is Arabiata. It's also a filly that has been with Richard Fourie, but unfortunately draw 13. But do include, there's one in Greyville and has run against some decent opposition there at Miami. I know 2 races in a row. So definitely, Exian has also horses run 1, 2, or 3 races. Diamonds and Pearls, Eden, Blitz Garden, all horses that are multiple winners. So certainly number 1 Arabiata might be in with a chance here. Do not exclude, but the 13 might be a bit of a problem. Then the number 2 horse is Palace Queen. And Palace Queen has also run against some better opposition previously, and but also drawn 14. But I'm mentioning this horses that not for that they, most probably will battle to win, but put in your places. So if they do come, you'll be collecting the bigger dividends. Then we have also number 4 Gold Rock, also from the Tara Lance Tangle. Last time out ran second behind Regimental, but before that over the longer distance ran behind Stormy Winter, but in a much lower class than it's running in here today. But has won races in Gauteng, so certainly that form is strong, and do include in all your bets number 4 Gold Rock. Then we move on to race number 6, which is a conditions plate. And here is the race where you can see here Alan Greep has got 8 runners in this race from the 12. So let's have a look at the betting, because it's certainly very open here. Number 6 Wallace Simpson 4 to 1, Calandera 5 to 1, Sailing Ship 6 to 1, 7 to 1 Golden Chance, 8 to 1 Green Dragger, American Prince 9 to 1, Duchess of Bourbon 9 to 1, Princess Khaleesi 12, 12 Luna Wish Encryption 14, 18 Cruiser Long, and I see there's a scratching number 3 Bell Tower. So now only 11 runners. And my first choice in this race, race 6, is number 9, which, as I said, he got 8 runners, and it's not a certainty that he will win the race, because I really like the look of number 9, Sailing Ship. You can see a Sailing Ship 3 runs back, beat Luna Wish, also in a conditions plate where it will be 88, and now today again running in a B90. So there's not much difference, and has been running well. Last time out, I think the distance was a little bit short for Sailing Ship. She was there and thereabouts, but I think number 9 Sailing Ship is drawn 12, but most probably will go to the front and tell them, catch me if you can, guys. And then my outsider selections in this race is number 5, which is American Princess. Now, American Princess knots up some future race winners. small futures previously last year, and I think he's definitely in with a chance in this race, as she has been competing, as you can see here, 91, 91, 86, 86. And I think with Ryan Munger, who's hunger on from draw 2, certainly a big chance in this race. And then I'm going to go down to number 12, Gold Chance. Now, Gold Chance is a dynasty mare out of a goalkeeper mare. But the thing is, it's only carrying 52 kilograms and has run some decent races. And I think that this distance of 1600 meters, looking at a breeding, will definitely suit her. In the form year, she has been running well over 1400 meters behind Sylvana's Pride. Look, 1.5 lengths behind front and center. Celtic Sea, pretty young thing. If you put those horses into this field, certainly there will not be a race. It will be race over. So certainly she's run against some huge opposition, and I think Golden Chance definitely in with a huge chance in this race. Then we move on to the future race of the day, the British Guineas listed, 1600 meters, Class B, average merit at 84, where the betting is as follows. Here the betting is number 4, Gertrude Bell, 90-10, Brave New World, 7-2, Santa Teresa, 4-1, So Flawless, 4-1, Musical Glitch, 10-1, 12-1, Kiss of Life, and 16-1, and longer the rest. What I did here in my pick six, I only included 2 runners, and that's number 1 and 4. Obviously, number 4, what I did was I had a look at all the runners, and I felt that number 4, Gertrude Bell, has got the better form of the visiting runners. Now, if you don't agree with me, you can then add on maybe number 3, Brave World, as well, if you want to. Certainly also has a chance, but number 4, Gertrude Bell, won 2 races in a row. I'm sure the 1600 meter won't be a problem as she runs on from behind. Did ran third behind Capetina, no donkey herself. Amish Fan, also a good horse. Crusade Promise, he won on the 16th, and then he came out and won again in a strong field. And as you can see here, 5 runners, 2 winners, 7 runners, 2 winners, 11 runners, 3 winners, 12 runners, 1 word. And I think Gertrude Bell, but is certainly the best of the visiting. And then I went and I put in number 1, Saint Therese, because also she's quite a handsome filly, and she's the best of the PE Raiders. So hopefully they will fight out the finish. But certainly So Flawless, Brave New World, and then Glenn Cotson, he's a very shrewd trainer. He's got 2 horses, Musical Glitch and Sovereign Rose. Certainly you can include all of them in the back end, or include them in your quartets if you want to. All has got chances. Then we move on to race number 8, which is a maiden plate over 1400 meters for fillies and mares. Let's have a look at the betting. Surely here again another open race. 3-1 Lady in Waiting, 4-1 Port Adelaide, 6-1 Princess Zena, Sarajevo 6-1, Sunshine Beach 7-1, 12-1 Tropical Giver, Madam Seville 14-1, Chrissy's Gold 14-1, 16-1, and longer the rest. So here in this race, my selection going to the visitor, number 11. Number 11 being Port Adelaide, Australia import. And I think even from draw 12, this horse will be too good. Has had some decent, first 2 races were not too bad in Kenilworth. And I think today in this field here in PE must be certainly a very strong competitor, and that is my first choice, number 11, Port Adelaide. And one of my outsider selections is number 12, Sarajevo, who really had a good debut over 1400 meters with Ryan Munger on board. He's on board again. This horse ran on nicely from behind, 24.2, fastest 400 to finish. And then my other outsider selection is number 5, which is Tropical Giver, ex-Pettigrew Gauteng horse. Now, has run against some decent opposition, Flying Carpet. Burnt Jasper has won again. In Lambo, I think is going to be a good horse. Mowbray yesterday at the Val was placed again. So certainly number 5, put in the back end of your quartets and trifectas. And then just quickly have a look at the favorite, number 2, Lady in Waiting. Certainly a horse who has got some chance, not without a chance. Didn't show much on the 2 poly tracks, but when they put it over a few 1,000 meters behind Scottish Promise, ran on best of all 22.9. She was the second fastest, but lost length at the start and ran on well. And I think that the 1,400 meters will definitely suit. So that brings us then to the end of a very difficult card here at Fairview today. I hope I could have pointed in the right direction, to find a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.